Alright guys, welcome back to the podcast, back to Tomboy Official. It's probably going to be a little loud. I'm sitting outside, got my car doors open, chilling in the sun. It's nice and bright and sunny. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay, so I think I read through page 8 or near page 9 of Aina Brayon's book, Aina's Keys. I'm not sure the exact page number. I don't have it right in front of me. But she was talking a bit about relational patterns, parent and guardian upbringing, and how that kind of played a role in the partner she was seeking. And I'm gonna go more into that in the relationship series episodes, but for now, that's what that's what the next couple pages was about. I feel like it's super loud in here, or out here. Got traffic and helicopters. It's Friday. It's St. Patrick's Day. I'm having a weird day, guys. Not necessarily bad, because nothing bad really happened. Like last night, I was wanting to go to the library today, and I just don't care today. You know, I'm just kind of like, just sounds like a lot. I don't really know where my old library card is. Maybe it's in the car here. I don't know. Like, I have stuff that I haven't used in years. One of those is, the library cards I have for certain libraries in LA. So maybe it's in the car here. I have old, those old kind of like gift cards and other types of cards that you keep in your wallet, and then like every now and then I just take them out and put a stack like somewhere. I'm seeing some round one cards. Just, I don't know. Round one is an arcade, and there it is. I found my library card. I've had this library card since like before college, I think. So I don't even know if it still works. I don't know. I've got like all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit distracted here, obviously. So, but I'm glad I found that, because I kind of needed that, because I was kind of hesitant to go over to the library, because I was like, well, I can't even really use the internet there. So yeah, dude, renewal date 2010, June 2010. So I probably used it before that point, but yeah, it's like freaking 13 years ago or something. But I think this is the second library card I ever had for my local library. I don't know. Little things, guys. Sometimes it's the little things. I don't really have too much to say about the pages I read that I can spin like specifically outside of the relationship series. So I would think I'd rather record separately on that note. But yeah, I don't know what's up with me. Like ever since like what day was that? Like Monday or so, or maybe even Sunday night, I started feeling. No, it was Monday. It was Monday. Because I was supposed to go do something Monday, and then, or was it Tuesday? I was supposed to go out. Either way, there was a day that I was supposed to go out for lunch, Monday or Tuesday this week, and the night beforehand, I was feeling kind of crappy. I can figure out what day that was because my friend called me the night before. So, or tried to call me and I wasn't answering. So yeah, Monday night was when I started getting this weird headache. So Tuesday I was supposed to hang out with some friends and ended up not making it. And then Wednesday I had that headache. I talked about it before. I had a headache on Wednesday for like a couple minutes. Well, a couple hours maybe. I don't know when it left, but I noticed it was gone kind of later on. In the afternoon or so. We've had rain. I just hate it. Like, I don't know if that's what's contributing to my mood just being like all over the place and weird. But yeah, I made it to the gym yesterday. Sauna, steam room. I think I talked about that because I had recorded later in the day. So yeah. So I'm pretty glad that, you know, the weather's shifting a little bit. We're getting in like the high 50s and the like low 70s some afternoons, it seems like. I'll see if I go to the beach for sunset this evening. In the mountains it's gonna rain. Sorry, it's gonna snow a little bit Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'm gonna be up there till Tuesday, but I'll probably split early. Yeah, because it's gonna be raining in the area where the hotel is, so I'm probably not gonna get to the mountains on Tuesday. I'm probably just gonna snowboard Sunday, Monday. I don't know, guys. So yeah, I'm kind of working through a lot of stuff, mostly just related to a lot of cultural dynamic stressors with just some of the religious upbringing kind of stuff is just a little challenging on my end because it's kind of coming up a lot. Like, not so much in the household, but it's just, I don't know. And then just a lot of stuff. It's just weird being at home, honestly. I feel like I'm kind of noticing some things that maybe I didn't have too much awareness about regarding family, parents, siblings, things like that. And then some other stuff, you know, like just trying to get myself in order to kind of live my life kind of more the way I want to. I feel like I've kind of been doing that, but it's a little different being in my parents' household. Like, again, they're not like super strict about things, but it's still just like, I know it's expected of me, and just that alone is a little bit of pressure. I mean, it could be worse, but it's just like I honestly don't want to be here, living at this place, if that makes sense. Like, it's not, even though people are trying to make it comfortable for me, it's not really what I want. And, I haven't really reached some of the goals I'm trying to get to, and I'm kind of working through a lot of stuff that I just kind of working through a lot of stuff that I haven't worked through before. So it's just it's a little heavy, just a little bit. Like, I'm in my head a lot. That's fine. But, I definitely needed time to sort out a lot of things, and I needed energy and just space. And I feel like now that I have it, it's like, I'm out of the busy kind of flow of the city and lifestyle, and it's really just weird for me. I didn't really know what to expect, but it's a bit of a struggle. Just to be constantly challenging things and thinking things through, and not just being like ultra busy with other people's lives and other people's problems and other people's symptoms and other people's issues, and just being so like problem solving and analytic of that all day long, and instead having to do that with my own self. Like, not that I never did or that I never was reflecting, but now it's like I have multiple hours per day to be doing that kind of reflection, and it's a lot to adjust to. I'm definitely like pointing out the unhealthy patterns I have in my life, either if it's like internally, just mentally, or other. Something I learned the other day was kind of this concept about, kind of this concept of the heart. Like, I know it's not necessarily like your heart that beats, it's kind of like something else, but a lot of times we talk about the heart, and the heart versus the mind and things like that. And I think what this person was saying was like, the mind gets very kind of like focused on like, okay, I'm gonna operate based on how I feel, how things feel. Like, if I want to eat junk food, even though it's not part of my goals, I'm gonna eat junk food. If I wanna, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm gonna treat people a certain way because I'm just kind of irritated. Versus like, the heart is more like, what do you need for yourself? What do I actually need in this moment? What's actually the best beneficial thing for myself at this point in time? Compared to like, okay, I'm gonna avoid this because I'm, it can be anything, like working out, going to the gym, waking up on time, that kind of thing. Like, today was weird for me. Like, I guess last night was weird for me too. I was kind of in a battle with some thoughts of, certain just kind of trying to figure out, what I think or feel about how I spend my time. And I was kind of challenging myself on, internet use, not necessarily podcasting, because that's kind of more on the productive end, not necessarily stuff like studying, podcasting, that kind of thing, more like consumption of like, entertainment, the types of entertainment, And I started really thinking it through, and I was like, is this really the kind of stuff I want to watch or pay attention to or have like coming into my brain? Because the other day, I got, I don't know, you guys know I watched The Sopranos. Like, I've watched it before, but it's kind of like one of those default shows where it's like, I purchased, I think, the whole series on YouTube, and it's like, it's a long enough series that like, and I love it, and it's a little complex enough that like, once I haven't watched it for a while, I can just dive back into it and watch it again. But it's pretty dark, and the last time when I went snowboarding, I was early into starting to rewatch it again, and it just doesn't make me feel good. Like, it's not very funny, or well, it is kind of funny, but it's not very like positive. But I do like the dialogue, like the way it's written is very artistic, and I do like the storyline and everything. But it's just, at this point in time, I don't think I really need to be watching that, even though I've seen it recently this year. Or maybe it was like the end of last year when I was like watching it with my mom, because she'd never seen it before. So we finished the series up. Since I've been in LA, we've already finished it. So I don't remember when that was, but it was at least since like June that I've watched it. So I'm already rewatching it less than a year later. And I was kind of like, I don't know if I really want to watch this. It's kind of like, it doesn't bring me joy. It doesn't make me laugh. So, I have been getting more into like comedy type of shows again. Which is why, I have been gravitating more towards like Ashley Gavin's content. And there's nothing wrong with like sexuality and sex and those types of topics, but sometimes I'm like, in a weird way, I don't relate to it that much. Like, like I'm, not, I don't know how to say this in a way that, like there's nothing wrong with being straight or queer and being like a very sexual person. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of content creators that I follow, that are like becoming go-go dancers or dancing, like for like ladies events and stuff like that, and they're really into it because it's like an expression of sexuality, and they say a lot, that they're really sexual people, and they like that kind of like dancing on women and like having people like touching them and being like sensual and all that kind of thing. And I mean, it's great. I mean, I appreciate those people. Like when I go to places and there's like go-go dancers, and I'm like, all right, like I'd rather have them there than not, honestly. They're nice to look at, they're kind of a positive form of representation, body positive, sex positive. There's a lot that I look up to with those types of people when I see them, and I'm like, it gets me motivated, like even like adult entertainers, porn stars, those types of people. I've talked about it before, how I find them kind of like motivational, just how they talk about like body image and like relationships and just kind of like their connections with people. Like not all of them, but the ones that I actively follow, I just like what they have to say. Like a lot of the Helix models, and a lot of the models from like Pink and White, and a lot of the models from, some of the LA people like Kells and Jay Killam, and even Lexi Peters, and the other one whose name I'm blanking, Alexa Legend. There's quite a few like queer people, AD. There's quite a few like queer, kind of like mask representatives types of people, or like androgynous, that are out there, and they're flaunting it, and they're looking good, and it's nice to see, like they talk about their workouts and those types of things, and their eating habits and all that, and it's like, it's nice to see, people like walk the walk, live the life, but for me personally, like, just sometimes I'm like, I go back and forth between stuff. Like sometimes I'm like, when it comes to sexuality and like all that kind of stuff, I'm like into it, and then other times I'm very much like in like this intellectual part of my life, And I go through like phases like that where like sometimes I'm all about like dating and ladies and all this kind of stuff, and then other times I'm really about like I just want to learn stuff or whatever. And so sometimes when I see certain kinds of content, like I'm kind of like a little like I don't find it as relatable at certain points in my life. So I'm not like ragging on like Ashley Gavin's content or anything, but a lot of it is very sexual, and that's fine. And it's funny, the stories like the you're having gay sex stories, and like, she's a comedian, a stand-up comedian, and she brings on other people who are her friends and comedians and other people that she knows from around on the internet, and it's very exciting to like see. I feel like I started getting into her content when it was first coming out, and now to see that like she's got all these different channels and all these different avenues, and definitely grinding and putting into work. And I think we need people out there who talk about these sorts of topics, and who have like a comedic flair and like just kind of their personality all out there like that, and then introducing to other people too, and so it's just kind of like I know that queer people get overly sexualized, and oftentimes it's like, I had to open the other window so I get some airflow in here. Oftentimes you see or hear people talking about like, I don't know, like if you've ever talked to someone who's not a queer person and they just assume that like, you just spend your whole life just running around trying to sleep with everybody, and it's like that's all they want to talk about, and it's like, bro, like that's not really what I've been doing. Like I'm like reading books and like like playing video games and stuff. Like I'm not even dating or anything. Sometimes it's like things like that. So like for me it kind of depends what phase I'm in, if I find something very relatable or not. And um, as it pertains to like dating and stuff like that, that hasn't really been something that I've been too actively interested in as far as like meeting new people. I've been kind of more interested in kind of developing relationships with people I already know, not necessarily to date them, but if it becomes that, then so be it. But like I'm not really too interested in meeting that many brand new people that aren't already connected to maybe a place where I'm already gonna just organically be at. Lately, just lately, that's how I've been feeling. Just because I'm between like two cities. I'm between San Diego and LA. I'm not really working in San Diego anymore. I plan to be, hopefully by probably sometime in May. I'll see if that's kind of my soft deadline. I'm kind of seeing how I feel about May, the month of May. So that hopefully by July I'll be finished with my 90-day probationary period, and then by August I'll be like full-fledged starting work, and then hopefully by September I'll have enough funds to be able to move back down to San Diego. I just want to make sure that I spend that 3 months in a job and I'm solid with it, like with the environment, and that it's going to be a good fit. And sometimes it takes a while to learn that, and I have to do the interning anyways, so that's just kind of how my timeline looks. I don't want to push it too much past that timeline, because that'll already be pretty much like a year since I moved. I moved to LA in June, but I pretty much moved out of that house in May, so it'll be about a year. I'm drinking this beverage right now. It's one of those hydration powders and water. So you put it in like 16 ounces of water, and I don't know if I'm dehydrated or what, but I'm like, it couldn't hurt to drink something hydrating. I had quite a lot of tea today. I drank like maybe 3 cups of just kind of lukewarm jasmine green tea today, and it's just not kicking in. And last night, I think I mentioned, last night I had melatonin around 9 p.m. and again at 10 p.m. And yeah, other than the engagement with kind of like sexual content, I've been kind of like, you know, engaging with like religious content, and seeing how I feel about that, and just trying to see kind of like, switch it up a little bit, because I really went deep for quite a length of time here into like a lot of like content where there's just like a lot of stuff going on sexually with people, and there's nothing wrong with it necessarily, but it just, I don't know, like yesterday it kind of hit me in a weird way, I guess. Like, I don't really know what it was. Maybe it was some of the influence of, reflecting on, a religious upbringing, and how definitely, a lot of that kind of stuff with, strict religions, we all know how it goes, how they talk about, sexuality is definitely a taboo in religion, a lot of religions, There's a lot of ways to not do it the way that the traditions teach. Even if it's just like a single action, like like if you've ever studied Shomer Nagia, of like, a frum style Jewish culture, it's like people of the opposite sex don't even really shake hands. Um, you know, but I don't know. I've noticed, like studying that kind of stuff, studying all the like strictness, kind of makes me sad. Like it's not. It feels just like that's not for me. Like and part of me was like, okay, like I could possibly go back to a life like that, and I don't know if it's just because of the people I'm around lately, but it just, those ideas started just coming to my mind. Like I could go back to that, and I was not really considering it like full-fledged, but just kind of like, what would it be like to start going to services, or what would it be like to start going to like some Vespers activities, or what would it be like, and I'm like, I think I'm overlooking the stuff that I left in the first place. I think I'm overlooking the stuff that I initially knew wasn't healthy for me, from even in my childhood, that I in my adulthood decided to actively leave. And I'm looking at some other nostalgic types of things, like the community, and just kind of like the ease of just like traditions that I understand. It is kind of hard to be, kind of both liberated by cultural differences and then also kind of trapped by them. That's kind of how I feel lately. It's like I've got all these different cultural levels that I'm kind of like both liberated, because some of them kind of help me to kind of find balance, or to find something healthy, or to, be a part of communities that are pretty open-minded. And then there's the opposite, that it's like there's the closed-mindedness and the toxic kind of interactions and all that kind of stuff. And every subculture that I belong to has that in there, whether it's the religious stuff or the queer stuff or the African stuff or just like city lifestyle or whatever, like it's all got like the good and the bad kind of mixed in. And the more I gravitate towards like one area, it's like I'm neglecting other stuff, you know? It's like, so it is kind of hard, you know, like even in general, like it's hard to not have a lot of black friends, you know? It's hard to not have a lot of friends that are, you know, of, you know, mixed African cultures, you know? It's not that easy to live in like white neighborhoods, you know, like there's just a lot of little things. Like, I mean, half it's like kind of in the back of my mind. I'm like, do I really want to go to this library? You know, have to renew the stupid library card. I'm probably gonna have to bring some kind of proof of ID or whatever the heck I need to bring. You know, you know, I might have to talk to the freaking person. Just sometimes it's just not worth my energy, you know? Like, I never know what I'm gonna get, you know? And it's my hometown, you know? But still, it's like, you know, there aren't a lot of people around that look like me. And I can go to other areas of different cities and stuff, and sometimes there's just not a lot of people that look like me, you know? And I don't really know what to do about it, you know? It's like, whatever. Like, I do have friends that get me and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes it's just tiring. It can just be so tiring, you know? The religious types, you know, there's a lot of good ones, and then there's the ones that I'm like, geez, like, why did I even bother, you know? You know, when it comes to career-related stuff, work-related stuff, it's like I'm completely just like ignoring almost all of it, you know. And then sometimes when I meet up with people who are still working in the field, and then all they want to talk about is work, and they're stressed about work, and just work, work, work. And I don't want to hear that either, you know. It's like, you know, the whole reason why I left that job, that type of work, is to kind of get away from having to deal with, you know, the dynamics. I don't want to blame the dynamics on the job, you know, because my coworkers were all great, but it was, you know, just some of the stuff that would go on that I didn't really need, you know, and then to hang out with people that, you know, they've got all this work stuff going on, and I kind of realized, you know, I don't really want to hear about it that much at the moment, like, you know, client care and all that kind of stuff. I'm just like not into like listening to that kind of, you know, those types of stories and things, and about people's sessions and all that. It's just overwhelming to hear, you know, like, especially after being away from it since like the beginning of this year, pretty much. I've been glad to not have to deal with it pretty much all of January, all of February. Now we're mid through March. It's St. Patrick's Day, you know. But yeah, like, it's a little bit, you know, I wouldn't call it fully confusing, but it's just a lot to have to sift through, to try to, like, I'm trying to kind of like develop in more detail the life I want for myself. Like, I definitely got a taste of a lot of it when I was first in San Diego. Kind of my split between San Diego and LA is like, LA is very forward moving. Like, I see the queer environments just kind of like speeding up, and like, you know, there might be a lesbian bar. There's a lot of like, you know, queer women events. They're like women identified only, run by women. You know, there's no men there or allowed, which you know, they're hosting tons and tons of events almost every weekend. Um, and that's super cool to see, you know, like San Diego doesn't have anything like that going on. And it's like, do I really want to leave this city and then go back? It feels like you're going like backwards. Like, San Diego's fun and all, you know, but it's like, you know, after being out of the bars and clubs for a little bit now, you know, I'm kind of starting to notice, you know, some of the stuff. Like, I mean, I love hanging out with my friends and stuff, but I'm really like, I like to party on occasion, but not all the time. Like, sometimes I want to catch up with my friends and like talk and like actually have like, you know, more kind of like intimate settings, you know, like coffee, dinner, bonfires, that kind of thing. Not just like turn up, you know, the music's so loud you can't even like think, you know. And every now and then, like, yeah, I want that, you know. That's why I love going to concerts. That's why I do love going to bars and clubs, you know. It's like sometimes you just want to have a drink and just like dance around and like not talk to people really and not really do anything too significant. But that for me wasn't too balanced either. And to just be like, you know, in constant party mode all the time, like, I know I have like a reputation a bit of being a bit of a party animal, but you know, I'm really kind of like a little bit party animal, a little bit just like give me a guitar and a sandy beach and I'm chill, you know, like I don't really need much more, you know. And sometimes, you know, it's really just, you know, I have a lot of different parts of me that definitely need to be like regularly fed. And I feel like in San Diego for sure I was kind of neglecting a lot of stuff, um, especially because there wasn't really a lot around me that was like that I was able to kind of like delve into in a social way, um, that I was comfortable with, you know, like, um, you know, my favorite, anything that's like religious related is kind of a little bit difficult, but you know, my favorite stuff, you know, I like Kinship, I like this church up in Hollywood, um, and that stuff's up in LA, you know, it's not in San Diego. um, you know, snowboarding I definitely love. I can do that from LA or San Diego. Either way, it's the same amount of distance. It's still like 100 miles away. Like, it's not close in either direction. Um, you know, I have a mixed group of friends, like ethnically, um, in both cities. Um, but in LA, I know definitely way more religious people, and in San Diego, I know way more non-religious people. And so, you know, in San Diego, I don't really talk about religion or um, spirituality or kind of stuff in depth like that. Like, I don't really have a lot of friends that, you know, like I have some, but they're not like right there. They don't live locally. Like, we talk on the phone. Um, and so, like, yeah, it's really hard to like connect with people who kind of have that mindset, they care about that kind of stuff. Not that they're like ultra religious and like involved in like some kind of way like that, but just that, you know, that they study things and they're knowledgeable about it and they think about it, you know. But I do need to be working, you know. I'm like forcing myself not to work, um, just because it's what I feel like I need to do for myself right now. But um, I do need to be working because, you know, I can't like stay in my head like this, you know, for a long time. But I'm noticing I'm still very like, you know, anytime I pick up something that's work related, I'm like, I just can't touch the stuff right now. Like, you know, my head's just not willing to go there. I can sit for like hours on end just like staring at the study material Like, I'm just really not getting anywhere with it. And, I really need to kind of flush out some of this other stuff. Um, I mean, I don't really see myself staying in LA. Like, other than for maybe like entertainment and other types of career type opportunities. Like, if I did go more like the content creation route, I would definitely want to stick to LA, but I don't see myself fully delving into that. It just seems like such a hustle right now, and from what I'm learning, queer people of color really have to do the absolute most to try to make it work for themselves. And I do prefer jobs that are very structured, and like, I know how long I'm working, how much I'm working, and how much I'm going to get paid, and it needs to be consistent. I can't be like, oh, the algorithm changed and now I don't get any money, like, I don't want to deal with all that. And just kind of like being on the internet anyways in general, like, I don't really know how I feel about that. Like, I don't really want to be like online all day, in that way, but I don't know, like, it's just kind of a lot to have on my mind. It's not terrible, but it's definitely eating away a lot of my energy. I'm finding it hard to kind of find the energy I need to do the things I want to do. And yeah, I'm definitely challenging a lot of things, but it's just tiring, it's tiring having to like break down every little area of my life and be like, all right, is this really working for me or not? Like, is this really serving a purpose? Is it helping me reach my goals? Is it part of what I value? That's kind of where my head's been. And you probably noticed my brain's moving pretty slowly today. I don't know what to do about it. I woke up kind of early and I just could not get going. I woke up probably around 6 something, but I didn't get up till like 9:30. And again, my motivation to get up was that I didn't want to be sharing the kitchen while cooking food for like brunch in the morning. So I kind of got up, but then had to like interact with my mom for like a second. And I just like having my own personal schedule. But I don't know. I'm you know I've never had time to like think through decisions too much. I've kind of just gone with whatever was coming to me because of working in psych. I've been just kind of like, okay, this is just how today's gonna go, this is how this week's gonna go, this is how this month is gonna go, and just done it, and trying to transition out of that and into a whole other field. And I mean, it's worth it, but also it's like I don't see any real need to like move that fast. Like, if I were hurting for cash, that would be one thing, but I'm not. So I'm not like rolling in it either, but it's like I spent like the last maybe almost 3 years not really doing a whole lot. Well, for most of 2020, most of 2021, and most of 2022, I didn't really go out the way I was going out before in like 2019 and before. So I did save back a lot of that money. And like I mentioned, I was living super cheaply for like almost a decade. I never paid over $800 rent, I mean, the highest I paid was like $785, and I even had rent as low as like 500 something at one point. Like, I never paid a lot in rent. And I definitely made some terrible living choices, but ultimately the financial end was what helped me to want to do that. But yeah, I'm definitely doing the work. I'm putting in the time and energy. And even doing things as simple as, giving myself time in the sunshine every day, I think is helpful, you know. And I think I'm gonna eat lunch and take a nap. Like, it just sounds like what I need to do. Like, I'm just exhausted today. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if it's just maybe I had too much melatonin, because I had some at 9, I had some at 10. But usually, when I have the amount of caffeine in my system that I've had most of today, I kind of get a pep in my step a little bit better. I mean, I haven't eaten the most nutritious foods. Like, I have been eating a lot of like Ichiban top ramen or Ichiban instant noodle ramen. It's my favorite brand, but it's not healthy necessarily. But it kind of tastes good, so I've been kind of liking it because it's cheap. I ordered a package of it the other day, and now I have like 5 or 6 of them to eat, so I don't know. I probably shouldn't be eating it then. It might just be making me not feel too great, but I don't know. Like, that's kind of what I've been working through. You can kind of tell when I'm maybe not at like the best day of my life or anything, but I mean, nothing's really going wrong. It's just a lot of thinking, and it's exhausting to have to think things through. This is why people don't do it. That's why people, avoid, having to sit with their thoughts all day long. That's why people, watch TV all day and zone out, or have something in the background and zone out, because they don't want to sit with their thoughts all day. And I'm getting used to sitting with my thoughts, but it is kind of a heavy feeling. I do think I need to pull out other thoughts, because these aren't the only ones I have. Like, not all my thinking is like about just what's going wrong or what don't I like. I'm definitely finding a lot of positive stuff in there, that it's like, even just the concept of being able to connect with nature while living in a city like LA is like a weird concept. And just the books I've been reading and stuff, like, I'm really enjoying kind of the mysterious problem solving aspect of it. And yeah, like, I've been eating a lot of cool food, and I've been, found a little bit of stuff to podcast about. I'm still getting out of town here and there. It just feels like it's so long in between. Like, I'm not used to feeling like my days are so long. Like, I'm used to feeling like I woke up and then I'm like, oh shoot, I should probably have lunch, because work makes you have lunch by a certain time. And then next thing I know, I'm like, all right, are we done with work yet? And then I got a few hours to myself before, if I don't have errands, I have a few hours to myself to kind of do what I need for my own self-care and entertainment before I gotta start considering going to bed, and then waking up and doing it again, and then having like 2 days off to cram in like everything that I want to do, and determining, do I want to rest, on this weekend, or do I want to party this weekend? Like, what do I want to fill my time doing with my 2 short days free versus having every day free? um and it's kind of different too, because like I don't have a lot of people available to do a bunch of stuff with. I mean, there are actually a lot of people that are available to do stuff with, but I don't want to do things with them. Like, I have a lot of friends in LA that aren't working right now, and we all live right next to each other, and I don't really want to see them. um like, we've all got our own stuff going on. I don't want to talk about what they got going on. I don't want to explain my life to them. Like, there's like one person that I kind of relate to pretty good, and then the other ones I'm kind of like, it's not worth it to me. Like, I love them, but it's like I get more stressed hanging out with them than not. And because they've got their own stuff going on, and I don't really want to catch up about that stuff that they've got going on. Like, I've caught up enough about it, and I don't really want to be bogged down by it, and so I'm just avoiding it, honestly. And yeah, like, I'm not really gonna get a lot of quality social stuff going on till like next weekend. I'm trying to be happy in my own head, in my own life. Definitely exercising helps. Definitely, reading helps, and keeping my mind active, and just taking a break, just trying to do more of the stuff I like doing and less of the stuff I don't want to do. And going to the beach helps, but it's been pretty freezing cold for a while now. But today's actually nice and sunny and bright, and I saw some clouds, but they left, so I don't really know. Like, it's kind of nicer out. I've been seeing people out taking jogs, walks. And I don't think I need to do yoga today. I was going to, but I feel like it'll keep me too much in my head, maybe. I think I want to do more like, lifting, and definitely get on my balance board. And, that kind of thing. I gotta eat the rest of my salmon Alfredo with veggies. It's delicious. And I have a piece of baklava left, and a little bit of pita bread. A lot of carbs. It's gonna be like just pure sugar. The noodles are gonna break down into sugar. Like, it's just gonna be a really sugary meal. But yeah, I'll take a little rest after lunch, and then probably get some exercise this evening, because I do need exercise, especially if I'm snowboarding on Sunday. I gotta exercise. I've got like 2 more days to get in some decent workouts. I don't know. With the time change, the days are a little longer. I'm a little bit struggling with the time change. Like, I thought I had it down a couple days ago, and then, my sleep was a little bit off. I think I slept about 6 hours the night before, and about 6 or so hours the night before that. And then all Sunday I was super exhausted from the Saturday concert, which was worth it. I mean, I was definitely pumped. I probably need to listen to some music too to kind of get me kind of pumped again. But I really don't know. Like, I'm kind of trying to figure it out. And again, like, I'm not I can't even say that I'm like unhappy. I'm not unhappy. I just feel a little off, you know? Like I'm trying to like settle into this. I feel like with the whole not working thing, I never really fully settled into it, if that makes sense, you know? It's like it happened, I'm in it, you know? But it's not like I'm in it like, oh, like spring break or summer break and like then I'm going back, you know, to something I know. Like it's like my life is going to look completely different, you know. And there's definitely a lot of fear there. Like I'm confident that it's going to work out well, but it's all me. It's going to be all me having to do it just like it has been in the past, but a lot faster. And it's going to be all me, you know. It's like I don't know how much I trust myself to really stick to, you know, being accountable to myself for my health and all these types of things. Like it's all me, you know. Like I get a little like um mm, like find it hard to kind of push sometimes. And you know, like I'm not comparing my life to anybody else's. I was doing that at some point and looking around and being like, okay, like everyone else I know is like getting a place and getting in these relationships and stuff, and I'm like, that's what I need to do. And I'm kind of like, nah, that's not really what I want to do. Like, I like to produce, you know, creative works, uh, using my brain to do that, just kind of, you know, delving into stuff, and thinking about it and presenting material in a way that, you know, other people might find thought provoking. This isn't meant to be like a depressing podcast. I mean, it is not. But I feel like there aren't that many pods out there where people kind of actually talk about their life processes and kind of like, you know, just being patient with the process of things. Like, I feel like a lot of times, you know, it's so quick, you know, to just record. People can be so quick to record on something and not really uh, really like be taking their time to kind of sift through all this stuff. And that's really what I'm trying to do is like put some ideas out there, you know, because, you know, episodes like this, it's like, yeah, there's like 20, 13, you know, 15 ideas to work with. That I haven't worked with yet, that I haven't worked through. And yeah, I get a little bit curious, you know, about how, you know, how it's gonna be. Once I kind of settle into kind of living a lifestyle differently from what I was doing before, because I'm already doing it, but it's just like bit by bit. Like, but yeah, today's kind of one of those days that's just I'm gonna be off all day. I don't know why. I didn't foresee today going the way that it's going now. I'm not disappointed at it. It's just weird. And yeah, it's kind of just really strange. But I'm kind of just having a day where I'm going to go through the motions. I kind of created a schedule in my mind of how I want to do stuff, and I'm just going to do it that way, and that's just how it's going to be. And yeah, like I'll be up in the mountains Sunday. And it's weird because I don't usually go up on Sunday, but I'll go up on Sunday and see what it's like to get out of town this time. Then Friday through, the following Friday through Monday, I'll be down in San Diego. So a lot of travel coming up.